The following program is rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
Scars are the bliss to your beautiful, as the memories will forever be embedded in your life, since they're not limited to time. Welcome to Beyond the Limit. I am Muthoni Maina. I'd like you to briefly introduce yourself and tell us all about your condition.
Yeah, so my name's Divina Kemuto. Most people call me Divine. Yeah. My condition is I was born with a double-sided hip dislocation and my 2 feet are deformed.
So how have you been able to cope with your condition from the beginning up till now?
I must admit, the first time was hard because it's something I have lived with it, from birth. So when I was learning, it was very hard when growing because most of my lifetime I grew up now to the normal people. Yeah.
So kuna point una feel ni kama bado society haijakukubali?
To be honest, society haitawahi kubali watu disabled. They'll just come to a point whereby they say, wewe ni kiwete, I quote. Like each time, kuna mtu tu lazima tu aseme kitu yenye itakufanya you feel down. So me, I came to a point whereby I said, my disability is here to stay with me. So whether people like it or not, yeah.
In this case, we'd urge the society not to be provoking them because they are easily triggered by small things. They can get agitated. They would tend to fight back. And therefore, if the society can just be careful on what they call them and how they refer to them, that would at least be better so that they avoid scenarios of that kind of fighting.
So ukisikia watu wakisema hivyo ama they label you that way, how did that make you feel and how were you able to, mold yourself away from all those utterances and say, I am divine, this is who I am and I accept myself as I am?
So growing up, most of the times when people used to tell me that, I used to cry. But then if I cry, I had that nilikuwa na moyo ndogo. Hiyo yenye unabaki tu kifanya, it's like you are about to faint. So with time the doctor told me you have to live with it. The only way is to be aggressive to everything that comes to you. Mtu akikutusi, jaribu hata kumtusi ndio ile ubaya itoke. Otherwise utakuja kukaa na blood pressure, vitu fulani na fulani. So I sat down one day and asked myself, why should I keep on affecting my life and my body and my tears? So most of the time ungepata mtu akinitusi, I'm like, well, are you ready for me? Ningeanza kukutusi pia. Ndi at least ni feel safe. But now it came to a point by ukizidi kutusi watu, haiwezi kusaidia kila time. So ilifika tu mahali nikaamua tu kujipenda. Ukinitusi na kuambia, oh, okay. Remember this disabled person, there's something she can do you can't do. And that's why you are very bitter. So I learned to believe that any bitter person anaweza kuanga tu akikutusi ndio ile nini yake itoke. Ndio asifeel ako lonely ama nini. So normally whoever abuses you, they abuse you because they hate themselves as much as they think they hate you. Yeah.
Self-acceptance may not come easy for persons with a disability because there are many factors that come into play. And these factors include the family of origin. Are they given that support and encouragement to discover who they are, to have the self-awareness they need, and also the personal characteristics? Is this person hardy enough? Are they resilient? Are these persons creative? Are they able to command their lives and their situation? So you realize that also the voices they tell them, like, this is me and I love myself and I cannot change this situation. When they own up, then they will be able to come out of the self-denial.
And also on that, how are you able to initiate and maintain a relationship? Ikoaje pale kwenye mahusiano? How is it for you?
So I've learned something in life. We have different people who have different personalities. So mahusiano kwa watu as friends, you learn to live with anyone the way they are. Kuna mtu mwenye ako na hasira utamtreat na hiyo. Kuna mtu mwenye ako hivi. So you learn to understand everyone. Of course, sometimes it's hard, but sometimes there is a saying that goes, you have to fake it till you make it. So mara mingi tu na fake, even though mtu anakubo, unamonyesha ni sawa, I accept your challenge, whether comes rain, comes sun. So in interacting with people, for me, I am a very talkative person. That is not so hard for me. I can fit anywhere. If you are arrogant, I'll become arrogant. If you are silent, I try to fit in. Yeah. So my personality, as I can say, I can fit in wherever I can. But on the dating life, that one is very, like, siezi kudanganya, it's a hard task. Kila mtu anatamani kupendwa, kila mtu anatamani kufanya nini. But now, dating life has been so hard. Nikisikianga watu wengine disabled wako hapa nje, they say ati they have a perfect dating. I always know there is something they're lying. Because, honestly speaking, it's very hard for a disabled person to be loved. Very hard. There are so many comments here and there. So as for me, yeah.
So in that aspect of relationships, you felt like you were not appreciated enough, or what was actually the problem of it?
So for me, let's say the only relationship I've maintained for a long time was one, but now the guy turned out to be not straight. Yeah, he turned out to be gay. But he was the only person who made me feel great. But now, it was a relationship full of lies. And then, when we talk of relationships, I prefer having an older guy. Because, it's hard for them to lie to you. Yeah? Yeah. So, in the part of dating, it's very hard. But then...
But are you looking forward to dating in the future, maybe?
I've also dated a white man some time back. Yeah. He is also one of the best people who never discriminated me in any way. But he was an older guy, of course. So let's say for me, for the experience I've had with dating, anyone who is older is better for someone who is disabled. I don't know how people think, but for me,
that's your school of thought. Yes. Okay, so in matters of the learning environment, how has it been for you? Are there activities that you wish you'd be engaged in, but it has not gotten to that point yet because maybe they do not have a specific environmental, cultural space for you as a person?
I must admit that many people, it's hard for them to fit in anywhere. But for me, like I said, I always try my best. Like, watu wengine wanasemanga najionanga kimbelembele. Like sometimes, kitu tu inaweza nikujia na sijaitafuta. Like, for example, like for you, the first day you saw me, you came on to me and asked me, do you want to do an interview? Yani, normally, let's say for me, I've never seen that thing ati nikitamani kitu, haiwezi nikujia. It always finds a way to me. Yeah, so far, there's nothing I've wanted to do in school that I have not achieved because I always go for what I want. When I say I want this, I almost make sure I will get it because if I just sit there, kuipata siwezi.
So has it ever gotten to a point where you feel like you are a burden to the society?
Yeah, so many times. I remember there is a time, long time ago, I had this family. And the story, I won't disclose all of the story, but I had a family whom I thought was my family. But then due to many challenges, it turned out that sometimes family is not family. So the one who died, there is a woman who really loved me so much, who never used to ask me a lot or discriminate me. She made me feel whole again. But now when I lost her, the ones I was left with treated me harshly, very harshly. Like unaweza fanya kitu, they don't see you are good enough. Yeah, so even my schooling life, when the woman died, it's crumbled because I got affected with everything. I started failing. I was one of the top students wherever you used to study. But then when she died, everything went sideways, and I will admit it wasn't so nice. But that one, I've felt many times I'm not whole again. Until right now, I can just say family, you will find friends who turn out to be family than family. Like for me, I have no family. I don't know why I like saying that so loud, even though they are out there watching. I don't consider anyone as family because my uncle rejected me until to date. Like whenever he sees me like disgrace. Yeah. Even I remember there was a time I came to Nairobi when I was transferred to Nairobi for my work after my gas explosion. So
A gas explosion?
Yes, a gas explosion. So when I came to Nairobi, I had no place to stay. I remember that time, the only place I could go to was my uncle's. So my uncle and the wife, they welcomed me well. But the way I was being treated, it made me feel I'm not home. That is where I had to go and find refugee in another man's house, another man's hands, so that I can survive in Nairobi. Because I used to work in Kericho. Then I'm in Nairobi. I have no place to go. I have no house. Where I used to work, they have been with me since my bands. Not even my uncle came through. Not even anyone who was close to me who came through. It was only my boss who risked everything to make me feel whole again, to make me live my... Like, he made me feel like there is life after the bands, but no family. The ones you thought were your family, there is no one who came on that hospital bed, not even one. I remember I used to tell this girl I considered that as my sister. I told her, niko Kericho, nimechomeka, unaweza kuja unione? Then I remember she told me, at my knees, like, mtoto wangu atakaa na nani? You understand? So I'm like, I'm at the hospital, I'm burning, like, the only person you thought will come, because from the word go from your birth, the only one who treated you well died all of a sudden. Then you are left with family, the ones you think you have your family. Then this girl tells you, sorry, I can't. Hadi mpaka nina offer kumtumia fare. I can't. So I was like, wow, hapa ndio maisha imenifikisha. So it was very hard. Hiyo time, imagine mpaka ninatumia mtu mwenye si close na mimi fare akuje kuniona Kericho, hapo hadi namlipia chama. Imagine, I'm the one in the hospital, but I have to pay for someone's chama ndiye anilinde juu sikuwa na mtu. You understand? So it was very hard for me growing up, but hiyo nayo mpaka wa leo tu ninaketingi tu hivi nasema, I rather have friends who become family than say I have a family. I have no family. Actually, I have no family, and yani tu niko tu.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Usiyakubalie maumivu ya misuli kukatiza ratiba yako.
The home of untold stories.
I had to go back to my contacts, the ones I met after nilichomeka. Before nichomeke, I had so many people. I had, honestly speaking, from my childhood, I've been dealing with older guys because that is where I feel safe. So from my contact, I had to go back after nimechomeka niliwahi kuja Nairobi. I found this white guy. It was something like a bet, but we made friendship for a whole year. So I then remembered he had told me, when you are ready, look for me. I had to go back to my contacts and said, I called him, hi John. He was like, hi Divine. I told him, I'm in Nairobi. Then he asked me, why didn't you tell me when you came? Then I told him, I've been so busy, but when can I see you? He told me this weekend. I had to go take a matatu all the way to Rongai. Imagine, reaching there, unajua kuna ile ujazoea kukaa na mwanaume mzee. He was 70. So you can imagine disgrace yenye ningeenda nijieke ndio nipate maisha mazuri. It was so painful for me, but there was no other choice.
At that point, you felt like this was my only option.
That was my only option. My boss used to help me, but uwezi kuwa hata kama umesaidiwa urudingi tu kule kule. Huyo ni boss mwenye amenipea kazi without no certificate at that particular time. I was 19. He believed in me. He was the first person who believed in me and told me, young girl, just go and do computer, I'll give you a job. And I did just that. He risked his life. Kunilipia hospital bills from the company. Yeah? Alafu tena ningerudi tena nianze kumwambia ati it's been almost 2 months after. Alafu nianza kumwambia ati woi nimekuja Nairobi nini. It's very like kuna kwanga na hilo utu, yes mtu amefanya, he can still do more, but kuna kwanga na hilo utu yenye unasema is the hospital bills, it's enough for now, wacha nimpe nini apumue juu. At the workplace, not everyone was agreeing to what he used to do and add to my life. They were like, why her? But then he's a man of his word. He can do anything to help another person who is in need. So that particular point, the only option I had was to swallow my pride and do what was best for me that particular point. So nikaenda kwa huyo mzungu. He's like, what's wrong? You don't look happy. But then he told me, I met you when you had umechomeka nini. I was like, yeah. And I'm now here. Then he asked me, what are you doing? I told him, by then I used to work with the NGO. So he told me, sawa, what is your problem? Tell me your problem. Unajua saa unaogopa kusema, but the only thing you have to do, you have to tell him, because he's the only option left at that particular time. Juu watu after kuchomeka wale masponsor wakubwa waliniacha. They left me. Nikamwambia shida yangu saa hii ni nyumba. Sina pesa ya nyumba. Hata nikilipwa living cost ya Nairobi na Kericho are not the same. How will you help? Then he told me, let me think about it, but I can see your phone is cracked. Then I told him, a phone is not my priority right now.
All you want is a house.
All I want is a house. Then he told me, don't worry. I know a phone is not a priority, but I have an extra phone. Alinitolea iPhone 7 Plus. Ilikuwa chini ya meza yake tu hivyo. Akashika kaniambia, ndio hii simu. Siku anajua kutumia iPhone. So nilianza from scratch kuonyeshwa nini. And he's like, I look for you by the end of the week. I went back with that same phone in the house. I remember what I was told after kuonekana na hiyo simu. Sijui chenye unafanya hii Nairobi, lakini chenye unafanya chunga isikupeleke mbali. So it's like they were judging me, at the same time they want to, hadi mwingine ananiambia mtoto mdogo kama wewe unatoka tu unarudi na iPhone. So hiyo siku nikapigiwa simu after on a Friday jioni. Ati nyumba yangu Kericho sasa, I had just locked it. Nikaambiwa, uko wapi? Mbona siku hizi ukwangi? Kwani nyumba yako unafanya nini? Then I told them, ukisikia mtu mwenye anataka uniambie. Then some guy, he was a friend to me. After I got burnt, alinurse for some time. He was a nurse. Akaniambia kuna mtu anakuja around. Will you mind kumexchangea? Like, unaweza pata mtu umpe vitu zako, akupe pesa. Kuna mtu amepigwa transfer. So it was a good chance for me. Then, hiyo siku kulikuwa kunanyesha Nairobi. Then I remember that tank of mine used to say, mtu yoyote asiwe kuja kwake after ameshafika. Like, don't come at my house after I am in my house. So we still kote ni nikuje all the way from West nishuke Ngara, it's almost 8:30. Sasa najiuliza, by the time nachukua gari jae, nafikaje kwa wenyewe hiyo time na kunanyesha, na venye already ako na ile mindset, mtoto kuna venye. So the only thing I thought ni kuchukua gari usiku niende Kericho. I called that sister of mine, the one I used to see as a sister. I told her, simu yangu inaisha moto, ambia aunti yako na anko yako, I'm leaving for Kericho, juu hivi na hivi nimeitiwa kitu fulani. But now the main reason was, siwezi enda kwa nyumba ya mtu after mtu mwenyewe kuingia. But now singemwambia hivyo juu they always see me as a rude person. So I told her, wewe mwambie hivi, nimeitwa Kericho. Nini. By the I told her very well. Do you know, alipelekea auntie. Sasa juu auntie anipendi, sijui kama hako ananipenda ama ananichukia, sijui tulifanyana na yeye nini. She didn't tell the husband. Unajua wanawake wa Kenya? She didn't tell the husband. So by the time narudi Sunday, ninarudi Sunday na masomo. I remember, yes, kumewaka moto, sijui nini imehappen. Mimi nimekuja nimeuza vitu zangu, ninakuja na kaform sasa. And I remember that time my late cousin, they was now the first son to my uncle was in the hospital. He had a problem, but alikuwa kwa ICU for some time, like, yeah. So mimi nimekuja na hako kapesa, ndani yangu tu nimesahau chenye nafanyanga juu mimi don't care, I always live for today, not tomorrow. Nimekuja manze, the bills were almost 3 point something when he was in the hospital. Nimekuja hapo na ka 20k kangu, nataka, unajua umekuja like na kala ka form, nataka kumwambia anko shika hii, itaongezewa kwa bili ya kuzo. Nifike tu hivi mtu akona zake, kelele huku na kule. I'm like, wow. Nilisomea tu, kwani unakaa kwa watu, you stay in someone's house and you don't say you're not coming back. Then I'm looking at the girl. You didn't tell them I was coming back. Alafu chini unajua kuna ile ka sister code mnakuanga nao, kuna ile macho yenye anakuambia nilimwambia, lakini hizi sema juu sijui kama hata yeye alikuwa anaoga that particular time, I don't know and I don't care. Sasa zile za nikajua tu huyu alimwambia ni kuna ka story mahali kamegeuzwa. So the woman, she's like, nikaribisha vizuri nini, she's smiling, you can't know. But now when the husband came, ananiingilia, you know he's a lecturer, so unaweza imagine venye wanakuanga serious. So I'm like, unajua he had to tell the woman, sijui mbona sikupendi, lakini hii chuki yenye uko nayo kwangu sijui penye metoka. And I told them, don't worry, tomorrow I'll leave your house. That particular time, hata kama nikisema don't worry, tomorrow I'll leave your house, kwa mfuko yangu tu nilikuwa na 25,000. Na nyumba yenye mtu kama mimi naweza ishi hapa Nairobi, it was a bed sitter, na bed sitter huwezi pata ulipe na hiyo pesa juu natakika na maji kwa nyumba, natakika na nini. I remember I told them, na by the way before nitoke, I looked at the woman and told her, na by the way ukumbuke hivi, hii Nairobi eri nikae chokora, I'll never in my lifetime kuomba chochote.
So after you left and you moved in to your own place at Ngara, so what actually happened afterwards? Because I can see you have tattoos on your hand. So what's behind the tattoos? What's the inspiration behind it?
So the inspiration beyond my tattoos, I was burnt. See, like I've told you.
The scars.
So I had to do some tattoos here. Yani ndio mtu asikuangaliange you are blonde, but then they are like, mbona anakaa bleach? Honestly, this is not bleaching. Hii ni nini tunasema aje, scars after my burns.
So how do you still survive up till now?
So as per now, the mzungu actually after some time tuliachana. We parted. Yeah, I won't say the reason, but there will come a time mtu tu uchoka. People get tired. But currently I have a supporting family from Denmark. They are very nice. Like it's like a family. My family is all again. Because of them, I am whom I am right now. They motivate me. They do many things to me. Yeah. So
how do you guys get to communicate?
WhatsApp, video calls.
Do they get to visit?
I was supposed to visit them last year, but one. but then visa yangu haikuenda through. Yeah. But currently I have let's say I'm not where I am, but currently I can tell people there, find friends who will become family.
Indeed, pain can be turned into happiness, or it can just pile up into more and more anger. But a positive mindset is all that is needed. Now, that's all that we had for you here on Beyond the Limit.